All right, in this video, we're gonna be talking about something that I've been getting asked about a pretty good amount, and it's a topic that I wanna kind of freestyle. I will hopefully be throwing in some screenshots of examples along the way, and that is finding the right product. Now, this is not going to be a product research video. I have those on the channel as of recently in the last few months where I show a little bit more and some more criteria on what I look for in a product. What we're gonna talk about specifically, and this applies to even if you're making a lot of money. I actually had one of my friends who does probably, if I had to guess, I don't know exactly everyone's income, but revenue between $500,000 to $1 million a month. He does pretty well in the e-commerce industry. We're just kind of shooting the shit, talking about products, talking about, high ticket, low ticket, what the sweet spot range is with how Facebook optimizes nowadays. And so I want to talk about the price point. So even if you already have a store with a product that you're running, you could add in another product to that store, or you could create a completely new store and find more products based on this pricing criteria. So one thing I want to outline is for those of you who are just starting, please understand, and I always say this, I will say it till the day I die, the first product that you pick will probably not be the one that makes you X amount, whatever that is. It's probably not going to be your first winner. So it does take a little bit of time. Just understand that, and that's totally okay, because that first product is going to be a great learning experience. Now, one thing I do want to say more so for the beginner side of things, if you're just starting, finding a product that is in a lower price point range might be advantageous to you. And let me explain why. It's gonna suit you a lot better if you have a smaller budget. So this all depends on how much money you can spend on marketing. For myself, I love products that are in the $30 to $40 range. If I can sell it exactly in that and I get it for under 10, I'm golden, because for me, that's how Facebook optimizes really well. I can be at a consistent 3+ ROAS, and usually they're super, super scalable. One thing I also like about, it's not necessarily a low ticket product, but kind of that slightly lower to medium range, the $30 to $40, it's a lot of customers, right? It's not just a $200 product where you have maybe the same amount of revenue but less customers. There's a sweet spot that I've kind of found where finding that balance between high and low ticket spits out enough customers for you to have a bigger back end, meaning text message subscribers, email subscribers, a mini chat list if you're doing that with Facebook, any sort of different remarketing tool where you can then sell them more products. So it is all a data game, it's all a customer game. Obviously, the people who spent $200 with you are it's just a higher value client. It's someone that is of better quality because they've already proven that they can and do spend more money than those who spend 30, right? So it's just kind of finding that range. Now, if I were you and you had a little bit of money to work with, doesn't have to be a huge amount on Facebook, you're a little bit familiar with the platform, I would challenge you. Okay, you can do some small tests. Try to find a product that you can sell between $60 and $90. Maybe let's call it $50 and $100, that range. Ideally on the higher side of that, 70, 80, 90. I sell a good amount of products. They're not my primary products, but on stores that I do run, I do have other offers. I run multiple products on a couple of the stores. Some of them are higher ticket. Now, just full transparency, they're not the highest selling product, not even just in order terms, but also in terms of revenue. They're secondary products, but they still produce a lot of results. Now, the reason I focus on these, even though they don't bring in the most amount of money for me, is because the margin on them is just so great. So, if you're looking to sell something that you get for $21 and you can sell it for $79.99 and you'll be getting a $20 to $30 cost per purchase all day long on Facebook, that leaves you such a healthy margin, and that is really going to be huge because it's not just a percentage margin game. With Facebook, it's also a dollar margin. So if you have a $30 margin on a product you're selling for, and that's after your cost per purchase. If you have a $30 profit margin on an $80, $90 product, $100 product, that's as much dollar wiggle room as the revenue on selling a $30 product before all the expenses. So now when Facebook fluctuates, you'll be a lot more secure. And you can scale in some different ways. In my opinion, you can just be a little bit more ballsy. You can throw a lot of things to the wall, and percentage-wise, you'll definitely have that dollar amount of margin and still be profitable. So that's the thing, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. I do like, I play the volume game a little bit. I prefer those products that are 30 to 50 bucks. That's kind of my range. I do sell stuff. Actually, the lowest thing that I'm selling right now is $19.99. That's a little bit low for me. I don't really like to do that just because again, full transparency, the way that one's performing right now is like this. It's a little slightly wavy, it'll be a 2.12 ROAS, and then a 2.7, 2.3, 3.1. Like it's in the twos. It's profitable. The reason that I do something like that is because I know it's a good product. It's not performing as well as I thought it would, but it is profitable and it's bringing in a lot of customers. So if you're running a newer e-commerce store, bringing in a lot of customers is huge. It's getting your name out there, it's building your email list, and then when you do want to go sell a new product, one thing that most people don't think about, even if you want to, let's say you have an existing store and you want to try a product in that $50 to $100 range, don't just go run ads. Yes, you go do that, but don't only do that. You can also email your new product to your list. And that's going to be a way to gauge how many people are actually interested. Now, you're not going to have any data on the first time you do this, but this is something that, when you play that volume game, it works great because you go email them a low ticket product. See how many people buy it. What's that percentage conversion? Then go do it a week or two later with a higher ticket. Then something in the middle. Figure out which one works well, which price range works good, which product you're trying to advertise to them works well. I feel like a lot of people, 2-3 years ago, people were doing this better than they are today, at least in my opinion, in the e-commerce space, because nobody really talks about it. But remarketing just to the email, text message, ManyChat, emailing their already existing customers. I feel like that fundamental rule of acquiring a customer is the most expensive thing almost gets brushed to the side. And keep in mind, when you sell a product for $30, you get it for $7, and you have a $10 cost per purchase. That's what most of my stuff looks like. That $10 is the most expensive piece of that transaction because in theory, it's a numbers game. That person, individually might not buy, but when you have 10,000 of them, they will probably buy again. So it's all about that law of averages, I don't know what the quote was, like someone said they'd never flip a coin, like live or die, heads or tails, right? If they live or die, if it was just one coin flip, but if it was a million, it'd be a lot better statistics or whatever. So, that's just one of those things. It's a numbers game. So remarket to those people. You can use it as a base to test new products for free, right? And it's almost always going to work because as long as you're selling them something that they've already showed interest in and it relates to that first product they bought, you'll usually be A-okay. So the only other thing I want to touch on here, I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, on the product side of things, is when you're setting this up, try and think about that dollar margin, not your percent. So if you're getting a product, I actually saw this the other day. Someone was trying to sell a product for $269.99. They got the product for $179.99. That percentage margin is terrible. That's the situation where you want to look at the percentage. But it's still a $90 range. Now on a product, that's a little bit bad, but the product that's almost $300, it's probably going to cost you at least $50 to get a cost per purchase. And once you start scaling up, usually that's going to kind of go up a little bit and optimize out. So that'll probably be a break-even product at best. So just try to find something that's probably a little lower than that range of a couple $100. Find something where ideally you're not spending more than 30 to 40% of the total revenue you're selling the product at on product cost, but try to focus on at least having like a healthy dollar margin. So think about it like this. For every $10 you should have that you're getting in revenue, you should have at least a $3 to $4 profit margin after your cost per purchase. So that makes it hard when you're selling a $10 or a $20 product. But if you're selling something for $30, even if you assume a high number, which is $4, that's $12. Well, for an example, one of my most sold products I sell for $29.95. Okay, people take upsells, the AOV is like $37, but $29.95. I get the product for $6.50. Okay, $6.50. I can get a cost per purchase for around $10. That's $16.50. Okay, whatever that is, and that fluctuates. Sometimes, some days it's $9, some days it's $12. Different ad sets, different campaigns, they change. But that dollar margin is very healthy. So even when Facebook's fluctuating, even when, for an example, all the COVID stuff that's going on, my shipping cost went up on 2 separate occasions. Do you think I was happy about that? No, I wasn't, because my product cost went up by like 20%. It went up by over $1. And that wasn't the product cost. We were still able to produce it. We still had a lot of inventory we were sitting on, but it was the shipping cost. So that right there, I know a lot of people who play the margin game. They do a volume and they just get a skim margin off the top. And if anything changes like that, you're out of business. So try to find something that's in that sweet spot range. If I were you, I would recommend looking for products that are $30 to $60. If you already have something going, if you're already making money with an e-commerce business, try something a little bit higher. Getting above 100 is like a different ball game. So I would just try to stick to that range, slightly under it. Figure out what works for you, and don't be afraid to test more products once you have something that's working. I see too many people, and trust me, because I see the numbers. I see people do this, whether they're friends, they're students, or even myself. When I find a product that works, I usually slow down how many new products I'm testing, especially on that store. So continuously pump new ones in. Don't be that guy. I mean, I'm that guy half the time, but don't be that guy. I need to take my own advice more, to be honest, but don't be that guy that just finds the one winner and sticks with it, because half the time you could test more products that are similar and find something that works even better. So I recommend you do that from a product research perspective. That's what you should be looking for from a pricing and a product cost perspective. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your research. If you're already running an e-commerce store, look at the main product or products that you're selling. Does it fit within that margin? Everybody has a different style. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but I just have 4 years of experience. There's people with more. There's people who have spent more money, made more money. I've spent many millions on Facebook ads, probably approaching $10 million, and I don't really keep track. A lot of money. I've put a lot of money into this. I've tested my theories, and I know what works for me, and I'm just here to share that with you. So if you have any questions at all about this, if you would like help with your product or whatever, I'd be more than happy to assist you either in a video or in the comment section down below. So make sure to post your question, comments, or problems in the comment section, because if I don't answer them there, they're probably going to get answered in a video, okay? So hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you got some value. I wish this was something that was thrown up on YouTube 4 years ago. It would have been a great help. So hopefully I can be that video and that resource for you guys. If you enjoyed it, if you got value, I'd greatly appreciate it if you smash the like and subscribe button down below. And with that being said, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.